All right, so y'all, this is part two. My phone rang and I was interrupted, and so it stopped the video. And because I'm new to YouTube, I didn't know, I didn't know it would totally disconnect. So let's pick back up. So this is part two. We talked about, the 50, 30, 20 rule. And we talked about, what savings should look like for you in your 20s. And I had begun to start talking about what it should look like for you guys in the 30s. So I'm in my 40s. I'm going to talk about that. But for those of you who are in your 30s, the first thing I said was you want to make sure you're not getting into that I make more, I spend more rut. A lot of times you're moving into your career path. Maybe you're starting a business for the first time. And so, you're picking up some income. And so now you're moving into that realm of, oh, I got a little change here, so you got a little bit more money. But then we start getting the Gucci bags and the Chanel bags and vacations and all of this extra stuff. So we have more money, but we start spending more money, which in essence means we really don't have more money because we're spending more. So don't fall into that trap. But then also in your 30s, number two, you need to start imagining the future. All right. So in your 30s, you need to start thinking about home ownership, autos, these bigger things like if you're already into a home repair, things like that. So you want to start now being cognizant that your savings need to be set aside for these things. And it actually would be wise for you to delegate a separate savings account for these things. So maybe you have a savings account that has maybe your home repairs, or you have a savings account that is dedicated to family vacations, or you have a savings account that's dedicated to your Christmas fund. So now you start allocating, and you can have multiple savings accounts with the same bank or different banks, but now you start to allocate your money, but nonetheless you're saving. The other thing you need to be doing in your 30s is if you have children who you aspire to have them go off to college one day, you might want to start a 529 plan. So starting a 529 will allow you to put money away, tax deferred, into a plan that when your kids go off to college, they can access this money without any penalty, and they can utilize it to pay for their college education. So if you're in your 30s, probably in the next 10 years, you may have a kid that's going to be a freshman in college, or, into college. And this could help offset, you having to add a monthly expense when now in your 30s, you took care of saving for college. So a 529 would be a good thing to implement in your 30s. And then lastly, in your 30s, you want to think about investing. If you haven't already started doing that in your 20s, definitely think about investing. And I'll tell you, I did that too late in the game. But that's why I like, life, because life is a good teacher. And that's why I like having mentors, because mentors start to teach you some things that maybe you should have already been doing. But with having a good mentor, having a good coach, you can play catch up, right? So that's why you want somebody to kind of coach you through these things. But anyway, so you want to now start thinking about investing. And, it may be small investing. You don't have to go in and do any big thing. One of the big things that Capital One, an article shared, and I'll share the link for you guys to read that, but they talk about investing in a pool. So pooling your money together, pooling your resources with your friends. My friends and I started talking about doing this in our 20s. We are in our 40s, and we're just now starting to pool our money together. But nonetheless, we are doing it. But we waited all the way to our 40s. Just imagine if we would have been pooling money together like we talked about in our 20s, we will already be sitting on $1 million status. But we are starting to do that now, and I love it because we're a part of a co-op where we pool our money together as friends, and it works. So anyway, but start investing, pool your money together. There are all kinds of apps where you can become a micro investor. You could even use, I use my Cash App to do the stock market. But just start to put your money in places where your money can grow and multiply. Okay. Money likes to be moved, and money likes to be multiplied. And then the other thing is, now we're talking the 40s. So I am in my 40s. I just celebrated 41. I got me a great t-shirt. It says, I don't get older, I level up. And that's a fact, because I'm going to tell you, these next years will be my best years because I'm more aware, I'm more knowledgeable. So now to all of you in your 40s, this is what we need to be doing. Number one, we need to be starting to eliminate debt. Okay, because we know by 2027 they're talking about there won't be any retirement fund. So we need to start moving debt away by paying it off. That means if you're saying, well, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, that means you need a gig. You need a side hustle. I can help you with that. I show people how to start businesses online, but you need to pay down debt. So you need to start getting that credit card debt down. You need to start paying off those student loans, getting that mortgage paid down if you're already a homeowner, you know, just kind of moving your debt down, because you don't want to get to 60 and you still got all this debt that you've amassed in your 30s and 40s. So start paying down debt by, you know, shifting how you budget. Moving more money into savings. We talked about the 50, 30, 20. Start following that principle and start even utilizing that to go in and now pay down some debt. But then the other thing is you want to max your retirement. So for those of you who are still in the workforce and you have an opportunity to contribute to your 401k and you haven't been doing that in your 20s and 30s, you definitely need to start doing that now. I contribute to my 401k late.